Well, thank you for being here tonight. It's an honor to be here and to have my work included in the St. Paul Almanac. I've never been published before, so at least in a book. So it's great to be included in a book of this caliber with so many terrific writers and artists. I wrote about the Dorothy Day Center, which is a place in downtown St. Paul. I'm sure many of you are aware of.
Can you stand closer to the mic, please, or get it up higher?
Sure. My story is about the Dorothy Day Center, which I'm sure many of you are aware is located in downtown St. Paul. I've been going there for about 20 years, volunteering every third Saturday of the month to work in the kitchen, preparing food, and then working on the serving line. So during that time, I've met a lot of interesting people, made a lot of friends, and so I decided to write a little bit about that experience, and also talk a little bit about Dorothy Day, just exactly who is this woman and why does she have a center named after her in St. Paul. So the title of my essay is Remembering Dorothy Day. It's on page 84 of the Almanac. Dorothy Day and I go way back. Granted, I never met her, but I can't help but feel a connection after volunteering every third Saturday of the month for the past 20 years at the Dorothy Day Center in downtown St. Paul. I first went there on a lark, something to try once because I had just moved to the Twin Cities and wanted to meet new people. I never got around to stopping. The Dorothy Day Center is a refuge in a city, a place where people can get hot meals, shelter, mental health services, and medical care. I work with a team from Emmanuel Lutheran Church in St. Paul that prepares a noon meal. Our menu never varies. Every third Saturday we serve sloppy joes, beans and franks, hard-boiled eggs, cookies, bananas, and milk. We typically attract 250 to 300 people, mostly men, but some women and occasionally even children. Many are unemployed and homeless. Others have mental or physical challenges. I've talked with people who live under bridges or camp among clumps of trees along the interstate. They may be wearing hand-me-downs or pushing their belongings in shopping carts, but they never lose their sense of dignity. They want to be treated with respect and courtesy, just like anybody else. Dorothy Day would respect them no less. But who exactly was Dorothy Day? Turns out she doesn't have much to do with St. Paul and probably never set foot here. Dorothy Day was a rabble-rouser. Born in Brooklyn in 1897, she was a critic of capitalism and a lifelong pacifist who opposed U.S. involvement in World War II. She co-founded the Catholic Worker Movement, which was committed to nonviolence, prayer, and serving the poor. She believed in civil disobedience and was jailed many times. Critics labeled her an anarchist and socialist. She called herself a Christian personalist. Above all, Dorothy Day believed in the teachings of Scripture and took a vow of poverty that she believed bound her to the poor, homeless, sick, and desperate. She was a fierce woman who could be intimidating and stubborn at times. I know a woman who worked with Dorothy Day in New York back in the 1960s and said she was deathly afraid of her. Another volunteer who worked with Day described her as a tall woman who looked as if she had been carved with an axe. You wouldn't disagree with that description if you saw the giant black and white portrait of her that overlooks the lunchroom at the Dorothy Day Center in St. Paul. She has a stern, no-nonsense look that seems to be saying, "Eat your peas or I'll box your ears." Her face would be right at home on Mount Rushmore. She made plenty of enemies during her remarkable life, but she accomplished much and never let anyone get in the way of her goals. She was a champion of the poor and wasn't afraid to fight for them. We could use a few more Dorothy Days today. Thank you.